another question I want to ask, I know the weight room is a transition for everybody when they get here to some extent. What type of, were you working out heavy before you got here? Were you lifting hard in Australia? Was there any shock when you got to FAU or Penn State with the programs?
I mean, I kind of knew what to expect. Like, we get told, like, it's different. Like, it's tough. And I think the coaches do a really good job, though, of, like, bringing you in, like, base testing you to find out where you're at and then going from there and just, like, building you up slowly. Like, it's not like coming in and it's like, you're squatting 500 pounds.
Right,
like, they find, they find where you kind of, like, fit and then they build you up. But yeah, we had a gym coach back home at Pro Kick, CQ Athletics. He was I liked him, but he was a madman. He had us doing like 10 by 10 squat and deadlift. So you're doing 100 reps of each.
Man.
So you do that one time, and you're heading home. Yeah. You're going straight back into bed.
I would have did one of those workouts, and we probably would have had to. I mean, he might have got beat up in the park. We might have just put his own.
I mean, I'm grateful now because like those workouts were like. That was tough, and like going into the winter workouts and things like that, I was like kind of mentally prepared to be like, I'm gonna get tested, but like I know that I'm gonna be able to come out and do it. So I'm kind of glad we had those and kind of got tested like that.
So you've done winter workouts here already?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so let's talk
that for you.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I mean, it was crazy. Like, I was asking, like, how is it? Like, what? And people were like, oh, you're going to die. Like, you're dead.
That's how they describe it.
You're going to die. And I'm like, oh, man. So we kind of, I went into the first one. I was scared. I was like, this is not going to be good. But I got the first one out the way, and I was like, okay, I've got through the first one. I can get through the rest. But, like, I didn't know that, like, every week they get longer and longer. So, like, you think, like, you're getting through it, but it's like, it's worse and worse every time. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, there was one, I actually was standing there and I was like, because you can't like bend over and vomit really. You have to stand up. So I'm like standing up, like vomit dribbling down my mouth, like dry reaching. Like, I was like, I'm going to die. Like, this is the time I pass out. But you do it and you get it done and you're like, okay, well, it's done.
Do you guys remember your first winter workouts?
Oh, yeah, vividly.
Doc, you got any stories on yours?
Probably. So we have like the hoop drill, and like I'm thinking, you know, in high school I'm a pretty athletic guy. Like I move around. I'm probably like one of the faster guys on my team, and we're going through the hoop drill, and I'm getting dominated. Quite frankly, like, the hoop drill, how it's set up, it's like a figure 8, and you like run around the hoop, and you have another guy on the other side doing the same thing, and you finish through. And like it's like whoever we call it the winners, because that's you know obviously quarterback number 3, compete in everything you do. We compete all winter workout. It's not like you're just running hard. You're competing against someone.
Every race.
That was
wild.
Yes, and I'm out here getting crushed. Like I didn't know who some of these guys were. I'm like, I think I'm ready. I'm like, one thing about me, man. I'm like, I might not be the most talented guy, but I'm gonna work my tail off, and I'm working as hard as I can. I'm getting crushed by like Anthony Wiggin, by Juice Scruggs, and I'm like, man, what is going on? I'm like, and then Franklin is like, you gotta compete, you have to, you're losing. And I'm like, man,
his favorite line is "Stop feeling sorry for me."
Stop feeling sorry for me.
His favorite line,
and you don't really get that until like you get older. Like, man, I really was feeling sorry for myself. I'm thinking in my head, how selfish of me, because I'm like, man, how am I gonna be able to get through this? Me and Elzen. So after our first winter workout, me and Elzen went back to Allentown, to like my hometown, for a weekend. I'm like, you know how it is when you come in with your boys, you want them to see your home. Like, you keep trying to get me to go to Australia. I'm telling you, I'm not going.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not doing it. I'm sitting on the flight for 24 hours. Probably not to go see that rock. But either way, like, we went back and we were in my house and we fell asleep for 18 hours. Like, he pulled up to my house, like, all right, set up an air mattress. He went to sleep. I went to my room, fell asleep, woke up, went and got dinner. Went back home, fell asleep again, and my mom was getting mad. She's like, "You need to show him Allentown. You need to show him around." We're like, nah, like we're not worried about any of that. We're just trying to sleep. Like it was just, I mean, but that's at the end of the day. And we said it before. I'm so grateful that I was able to experience going through winter workouts, even like now, because I know I'm tougher than I ever would have been not experiencing that adversity and pushing my body to a limit that I didn't think I could exceed. And that's college football. You're being asked to do things you don't think you can do, and you accomplish them, and it makes you crave it more. It's like a high almost. Like you're craving to like, how can I challenge myself? How can I be a better version? How can I compete against somebody? And that's, I mean, you see that on the field with guys. Like Penn State guys stay in the league for so long.
It's the wins. It's the wins and the loafs for me. Like I was like, I had no idea, and they're like, "Yep." I can't even remember who I went with. But I was getting smoked, like smoked. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, it was because the ones that I did were like running ones, and I was getting like smoked. And then it got to like the kind of like the more power ones where you're pushing, and that's when I kind of found my groove, and I was like, okay, I'm getting some wins here, like this is good. But then like you do those and you're trying your hardest, like I want to win, and then you got the aqua bags at the end. I was done. I
almost threw up all over the side.
Jerry, tell him about the aqua bags, bro.
Yeah.
See, for me, let's talk about my first winter workout.
Oh, you would take a step back.
So, you know, Zane, my roommate, you know, me and him, right now he's my roommate, but Nick was my roommate when we first got in. So I'm like, so alarm go off at about 5 o'clock. I'm like, Nick, you ready to go? Nick said he's still asleep. His alarm go off, he turned it off. So you know what, I'm going to
dangerous game to play, by the way.
So you know I'm going up to get ready to go. So I go to the workout, Nick he walk in about 5 minutes remaining, you know, till it start. So I'm in there. You know, we started warm up lines. Harden and Payton is on. So I look at Zane, he look at me. I'm real excited. I'm hyped up. You know, I'm thinking it's gonna be light. You know, so he bring us up. We're in Auburn. The crowd. So we talk. You know, I'm like, oh man, this gonna be fun. So we started. I just hear a horn, like the sign with the numbers on it, real bright. I'm like, oh man. So we start going. I look to my left. Elsden yelling at the top of his, so we know I'm with Elsden, linebackers, and tight ends. So I'm with Elsden. Like, Elsden got turf pellets all in his eyes. He yelling at the top of his lungs, talking about, oh, you let us down. So I knocked the cone over one time. He said, you fumbled the ball. You let us down. I'm like, oh. I'm like, man. So,
I like how you can knock the parallels like that.
That was crazy, bro. I'm like, this was kind of eye-opening. I'm like, yo, this is real. He said, I let him down. I fumbled the ball. Like, I knocked the cone over. Like, I didn't know it was that big of a deal. So, you know, I'm going through it. We get to Al station, the sleds. Like, we pushing them, though.
No.
First two, I'm good. We get to the third push. I'm pushing. My legs just gave up on me. I couldn't move. Still had one more station left, though. So Jamari Budden, who's currently, he's not with us right now, but he carried me to the next station. Like, literally, like I'm holding on him to the next station. Like, I'm like, I can't do this. No, I can't do it, bro. Like, I can't run. He's like, yes, you can. So I'm going. I just remember I fight for my life waiting for that last horn. I hear the last horn, like I just dropped to the floor. I was like, man, this is wild. It's different. Like, it was crazy for me. My first winter was crazy.
Did you have a tire pull after that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I actually did my first tire pull was against Rodney McGraw. And I never forget, Coach Frank, he said, do you need to get somebody lighter for you? I said, nah. And I ended up winning the tire pull, and that was the most excited I had been in my life. But after that excitement, I was like dead tired. I realized I was dead tired. Like,
if you randomly just turned on this podcast and heard him just tell his story, you'd be thinking that this guy would just serve the tour somewhere. Yeah. That he was in the military. He's describing a war story.
That's really what it is.
But it feels like that. It feels like you're in the military. Like, it's crazy.
It's so tough explaining winter workouts to people who haven't done them because you sound so soft.
Like, you never really felt like you never really felt vulnerable when you trying to breathe, but you can't breathe. Yeah. And you still have to go full speed. Like, that's a different type of feeling when you can't breathe, but you still have to go.
And then you got to go to class.
And then you got to go to class.
So I'm like, what are we doing? I'm like, teacher asked me questions. I'm like, nah.
Hold on a minute.
Not right now.
A couple things. Number one, Franklin talks crazy during winter workouts. Like, it's not one of them things where it's like, come on, man, you got it. Like, it's like, you're soft. Stop bending over. Are you gonna win a rep? Like, he's talking crazy. That's number one. Number two, you talk about the matchups, like cigar cutter, like the figure 8 drill and water, like all that stuff. It's all competition based. My first winter workout, I had all during the season, my freshman year, I was way too heavy, too much body fat, so I had like slimmed down a bunch. So I'm like 255. So I was too light to do the drills against the real D tackles because I was light. I was just faster. I was lighter. So I got matched up with Odafe Owe.
Oh, okay.
On the cigar cutter. This is my first winter workout ever. Okay, now Odafe Owe ran a 4.36 at his pro day. I have never touched a 4 in a 40-yard dash. I'm not a 4 guy. This dude, I'm talking about rep after rep, is like, I'm coming out of the second bend, Odafe Owe is standing with his hands on his hips because he's already finished with the drill. I'm getting talked crazy too. I go into tire pool against Juice Scruggs, who turned into a second-round draft pick.
At 255?
Juice Scruggs at 255. So now the matchups, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like they were trying to make an example out of me. Juice Scruggs could have took me not only 10 yards to win the drill, he could have took me to Nittany Apartments, to the Willard building, and he could have took me all the way back to Ohio.
And let's talk about Juice. Juice, I will say, on record, is one of the toughest men on the planet.
in the planet.
He might be the toughest one.
Yeah.
There's not many people that can do what he's done and come back from what he's come back from with his back injury and come back and be as dominant as he is. This guy, we always talk about it. There's weight room strength. There are guys who go in the weight room and can throw a bajillion pounds up in the air, and it's ridiculous to see, like a spectacle. Yeah, no, not me. And then you got guys who have grown man strength that can just grab you and you can't go anywhere or do anything about it. And it's you feel worthless. Yeah. He has grown man strength to a point that no man should have. He gets a hold of you and you can't move. And that's why people were surprised when he went second round, the mock drafts were. But then you see him how he works, and also I've never seen him get tired before.
No.
The guy is a robot.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The guys who were surprised by Drew Scruggs going in the second round have never had to deal with him in pass pro. No. They never had to do a one-on-one with him. I was shocked that he got out of the first 32 picks the way he did me, PJ, and Judge Culpepper for 4 years. It was a mockery that he made out of us.